Hello everyone, and welcome to another game of Warships. Today it's one of my replays and I'm in the Moines, a tier 10 US cruiser. I'm on the map Trident. It's a 3-point domination game and it's tier 11 with a carrier. So you might be a bit confused if you haven't played in a while, because you think, wait, Trident? That's a low tier map. And yes it is. Oh, hello sir. Now the enemy set is finding that out the hard way, because as you can see my radar coverage is pretty big here on this map. Also, unfortunately, the only cover that this side offers here is that one island here, and going towards it obviously gets me detected because, you know, it's a small map. So I have to pray that the Shikishima isn't going to sit the crap out of me while I desperately try to reach that one actual piece of cover that this side here offers. Meanwhile, I'm absolutely wrecking that set, who has foolishly moved forward. But as you can see, my radar basically extends till their spawn, so... Now I am hydroed here by the enemy. By the illusion, it looks like, which is pretty problematic, because the Shikishima can shoot me here. It's aimed a little bit too far in the rear, and I'm getting away with this. But I need the enemy destroyer to run, so come on a little bit further. There we go. Now I'm no longer hydroed, and I can find some cover. So yes, where were we? Trident, not a map for lower tiers, technically. The problem is with the introduction of the airship escort mode, all the maps that can be used for airship escort are now also in the rotation for higher tiers, even though they shouldn't be. Now this is a bug that would probably take 5 minutes to fix, so of course during an entire patch cycle Wargaming has decided to not use the 5 minutes to fix it. It's also something that should have been caught pretty easily, but competence is not Wargaming's strong suit. So instead this is just how it's going to be from now on, and I doubt Wargaming is actually doing anything about it, but who cares. Being on a smaller map at tier 10 can be quite fun. Honestly, it depends a little bit on what ship you're in, right? If you are in a brawling battleship, this map allows you much easier to get some use out of your secondaries. But if you're in your destroyer, you're pretty much screwed. Now, yes, this map is designed to have tier 8s as the highest tier, and tier 8s already have the longer range raiders, but the duration isn't quite there yet, and also tier 8 just doesn't quite have the firepower and the accuracy to be that deadly. But I'd say it's also not entirely designed to see like complete tier 8s. Keep in mind that most of the time, even if it's a tier 8 battle, there will be quite a few lower tiers mixed in. So tier 8 games just aren't that crazy usually radar-wise. But yeah, as you can see, like if you're like a 12-kilometer radar and you're at Egeris, you're covering 2 caps completely and half of a third cap with radar while threatening like this entire area. Now imagine you are like a Moskva with a longer range 12-kilometer radar on this map. It's just insane. Even here, like as a Des Moines, you have a pretty long-lasting radar, and just look at how much I cover here. Like, why is a destroyer supposed to be, right? Even if you say, okay, they're not going into the cap. The caps, like, none of the caps offers a safe place, right? There aren't any islands inside the caps that allow the destroyers to survive being raided. But it's not just that, they can easily run out of the radar because I cover so much. So if they try to poke in, they're already dead. But even if they say like they just wanna scout the flanks, I mean, they'd have to be behind their spawn to be safe. It's just silly, you know. Like, if you wanted a smaller map at higher tiers, you need to design it in a way to have far more, let's say, island cover. You have to design it in... I mean, I'm not opposed to having smaller maps at higher tiers. It stops the... Well, I mean, it stops people from being that far away and outside of the fight all the time. But you need a proper island design, right? You need proper map design to compensate for, well, the tools that are available at this tier. Now, meanwhile, this enemy Shikishima is just, I don't know, surfing the border. I'm not sure if that's deliberate or if it just ended up maneuvering itself in there in its try to get away. But yeah. Now overall the enemy is getting pretty much wrecked here on this side. The enemy Thunderer that's still completely at full health is desperately trying to get away. I mean, look at this, right? This Thunderer is 25 kilometers away from me, but it's like on the other flank, sort of ish, and about as far away as it can get. I mean, if this were an Yamato, I'd still be in gun range. Meanwhile, the enemy Pommern is trying to push the center, but it might just be a little bit too late. And it's also like pushing the center. I guess it gets cover from what we have here on this flank. Maybe it's not as mad as it entirely seems. Now at this point, obviously, I'm just gonna go there against it. Because we have cleared up this entire side, I can now use those islands. I mean, I'm spotted anyway, but I might be able to get into concealment if I have enough time and then use this island.
Our ship is aflame.
Then again, this Pommern is almost dead anyway. There is no reason to play this any more carefully. It's basically dead. Now I'm gonna take care of those two fires and then I'm gonna raid at those destroyers. And yeah, at this point there is nothing really alive anymore anyway. Oh, we're just gonna farm some more destroyers, I guess. See, the destroyers, yeah, I have a lot of sympathy for, which doesn't stop me from utterly wrecking them here, but I've been a destroyer on Trident with a lot of Raider. And I mean, Trident, by the way, isn't the only low tier map that's now in the higher tier rotation. And you just realize very quickly that those maps just weren't designed for that amount of Raider presence. Now this Holland is outside of, well, no, it's coming back to my Raider range. Not that I'm still Raidering, mind. But it's just screwed anyway. I think it's just shooting back at this point. It has given up on life and anything. And fair enough. Meanwhile, the enemy Thunderer is behind its carrier and still on full health. Even though you can't run that far, this Thunderer certainly is trying. Well, so this game was just silly, right? I mean, it was a pretty one-sided one, as a lot of games are these days. But I think it also showcased just how silly this map is with, and I even only had 10 kilometer Raider, but a very long duration one, right? And it's just not designed for that, I guess. So if you're in the right ship, this map can be a lot of fun, and if you're in the wrong ship, you're just utterly screwed. So there is that. But hey, it's not like Wargaming cares. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this, and I'll see you next time.